Hey guys, Vincent here at SIMPSON VLOGS and welcome back to another vlog on an interesting subject about yours truly, me. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe down below, hit the bell notification to keep up to date with everything that's going on this channel. If you want to check out my other channel, my gaming channel, then you can check out that in the links in the description. You can also check out a donation if you're feeling like it and are willing. Also, there's TikTok, Instagram, Rizzle, and Twitter on social media side of things. So if you want to follow me on there, some great content and also help you keep up to date with everything that's going on the channel without having to obviously hit the bell notification, but please do. So let's get into it then. My favorite movie genre. Now, this one is going to confuse, maybe shock a lot of people. But for the massive Star Wars and Marvel fanboy that I am, neither superhero or sci-fi are actually my favorite genres. Now, you're probably confused, but you're a man who likes continuity, likes something to go on for a really long time, a long story. You can only get that in sci-fi. Or superhero, because superhero has sci-fi elements in. Yes, you would be correct. You know, you got the whole Marvel multiverse. You know, they could make stories and movies for centuries on that. You've got all of Star Wars. They can go back millennia. They can go forward millennia. They don't have to end. They can just keep on going in either direction. You know, it's endless because it's space and there's no set time because they're already able to fly spaceships. They can reasons go all the way back almost to when they were able to first leave their planets. You know, that's where you can go back to. But for all of that, nothing brings me more satisfaction. Nothing brings more a sense of that was absolutely epic than fantasy. Okay, now hear me out. Comment your favorite genres down below and comment your reasons why. You know, you give a like and all that. But hear me out. The reason is a long one, so you're gonna sit back, grab a snack, grab a drink, maybe, kick your feet up. This is a long one. I am a guy who likes loads of things. Like I said in previous videos, you know, I love loads of games. I love loads of movies. I love loads of books. I love loads of cartoons. Okay, anime is different to cartoon. Okay, when anyone says it is, okay, anime is amazing, and that's probably where my love for fantasy comes from. It is watching anime that I truly realize just how epic fantasy is. Okay, there's loads of normal conventions that you can do that you follow for sci-fi. Okay, or even sci-fantasy. Okay, there's conventions you follow. There's space, there's spaceships, there's futuristic weapons, you know. Yeah. But when you get to fantasy, even though you've got the normal conventions, you know, you've got magic, you've got magical beasts, or magical things, or things that aren't normal in our normal plane existence, you get massive variations on it. Now, I've watched anime where the devil is a boy. I've watched anime where the devil is a girl. I've watched anime where the devil is a good guy. I've watched anime where the devil is a bad guy. I've watched anime where vampires are the good guys. I've watched animes where vampires are the bad guys. You know, I've seen different portrayals of Dracula and Dracula's story and how that works, and the combination of science and magic in Castlevania is brilliant because it's true. It's true. Anything that people just didn't understand, they just class it as magic, and magic was bad, and then they'd kill everything that did it. You know, they just didn't get it. They didn't understand that it was science. You know, that they were actually smarter people than them. Get it? You know, and you just get different variations on things you just wouldn't think of. And fantasy, because it's fantasy, there's not this box that there kind of is with sci-fi. There's a box in sci-fi. You know, there's certain things you do or can do, and that's it. You can do time. Most you can do is time travel. You know, that's the most epic thing you can do in sci-fi. That is about as epic as you can get. But when you go to fantasy, there's not this box. There's nothing that holds or binds the writer or the creator to it. There's nothing. There's like an endless expanse of what they can create. I mean, look at Attack on Titan. People might not class that as fantasy, but it is fantasy. There's no such thing as giant monsters that walk around eating people, is there? But there is there. And it creates this epic show and this epic story that you are able to follow completely through. And it made sense. You know, that's another thing about fantasy. It makes sense in its world. You don't get confused by just go, oh, that's not real. That can't happen. but you can question things in sci-fi. You know, you can go, well, what's the likely chances of these two characters meeting in this big universe or galaxy? Or how did that ship move that fast? And they have to explain this, they have to make it work. Alright, in conventions that fit normal conventions still. Whereas fantasy, they don't have to explain it like that. They can literally make something work because it just works. I mean, look at Naruto. Okay, look, another anime example is the fact that they can walk on water. Okay, how is it that they can walk on water sometimes, but then other times they can't? You know, it just makes sense for that world. It just makes sense for chakra and ninjutsu and taijutsu. It just makes sense, doesn't it? You don't question it. You just accept it and you move on with the story. You're not stuck there going, well, no. Now sometimes obviously you do, because something didn't quite make sense in its own world. And that's fine, that might be the intention or unintentional from the writer. But either way, it's still okay. It's not something that you can dispute based on our normal conventions, because fantasy doesn't fit our conventions. It's not supposed to. And I think that's what it is. It's an escape away from reality that brings wonder, epicness, awesomeness, whatever you want to call it. It brings you this freedom inside and out, visually and in your thoughts. And that's why I love fantasy. You just don't get that anywhere else. I mean, come on now. Look at Lord of the Rings. The only movies I love more than Lord of the Rings are Star Wars. And you know, Star Wars was just epic for me, you know, lightsabers, duels and everything. That was just cool. Okay? And I think it's because I saw Star Wars first as well. But Lord of the Rings was awesome. And The Hobbit, when that dragon came out of there and said, I am Smaug, I am death, I was like, you mofos gonna burn. you guys are finished. That's it. I remember watching this anime. I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. No, I know another anime example. Ooh, anime fanboy. Look at this otaku. Look at this geek. Eren Yeager. You know, yeah, yes, I love anime. Shoot me. Alright? It is what it is. There's this anime and it was the most amazing thing. This huge dragon came out of nowhere and the visuals were unbelievable. You can't get that with Star Wars. Okay? You can get a beautiful planet, but it's just a planet. Okay? It's just like our world. You can get a beautiful nebula, but it's just a nebula. I've seen that in real life. You don't get beautiful dragons. Okay? A dragon. Okay? The fight scenes in some of anime, I think the reason I keep going back to anime is there's not that many other epic, you know, examples in Hollywood, because how much that would cost would be ridiculous to do that in, you know, real life kind of thing. But like, honestly, you just look at some of the visuals in anime and you're just thinking, wow. And you can only do that with fantasy. Yes, there's sci-fi anime that has amazing visuals as well. However, fantasy, most of anime that you watch, when it comes down to it, when you dumb it down, you know, when you remove the fact that it's an action or horror or this or it's that, most of it, when its basic actual genre is fantasy. You know, and that's what makes anime so special to loads of people you wouldn't expect it. Okay, like if you saw loads of people seen that London theatre where it was jam packed, that cinema, and they were watching anime in sub. Okay, it came on in dub and they almost had a riot. They almost killed people in there, you know, South London anyway. That's why someone didn't die. But you know, they kept the peace except with the people who put the dub on, and they demanded it in sub. And I, big anime fan I am, do not watch it in sub, because why am I going to watch it in sub when that's another argument, another video for another day. You know, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification to keep up to date with the channel. You can check to, you know, see when that video comes out, but it will probably come out. And moving back to the subject at hand, you know, people you wouldn't expect, you wouldn't associate roadmen with anime now, would you, with cartoons? But they do. Okay, rappers, loads of people watch anime because of the escape it gives them, because of the visuals, because of the story, you know, the emotions that can be conveyed. Yes, you can have more realistic ones with emotion, like that. You know, Attack on Titan is kind of grounded as a fantasy. It's just about fantasy because of what it is, because of the fact that there's Titans in it. And it could have been anything, and they could have still tried to convey the same emotions, I'm sure. But when it comes down to it, fantasy anime brings emotions out in people that they didn't know or they didn't think would happen to them. I remember watching Attack on Titan for the first time, and when in the first season, I'm sorry if you haven't seen Attack on Titan by now, then I'm going to tell you right now, it's awesome. So if you don't want to hear the spoiler, this is your chance to exit the video, expedado, and go watch it. But 3, 2, 1. If you haven't left, you're staying at your own risk. Spoiler warning. When Eren dies, oh my gosh, in the first season, what? You're thinking, the main character can't die this early. What kind of madness is this? You're thinking, this is some Game of Thrones shit. Right, that's it, Game of Thrones. There it is, there's the example in Hollywood. Wow, look at Game of Thrones. Let's not talk about last season. We'll talk about that here. I don't want to see it in the comments. I'll fight you. Okay? But like I said, look at Game of Thrones as a TV show. How many people watch Game of Thrones? Whole heap of people. How many people watched it all the way to the end, even after the crappy first part episodes, and they still watched it to the complete crappy finale? And it was still epic because of it being fantasy. You know, it conveyed emotions. It captured the minds of people because of its fantasy. Yes, it was well written, and it was a good story, but the fantasy part of it, you know, dragons, witches, fights, it had reality and fantasy mixed together in the perfect combination, just like Attack on Titan does it. You know, the feelings of the helplessness of characters at certain times because of what they're up against. You know, reality, fantasy. You know, combine them together, you got an almost unstoppable combination. All right, and that's why I love fantasy. You can ground it, or you can just let it go to the moon. And either way, it's still amazing. That's why it is the best genre. There is no box. You just think of something and then wrap the story around it, and it works. Okay, as long as the story makes sense, it works. All right, then that's why you love fantasy. So, on that note, I hope you've commented down below what your favorite one is. Check out links in the description. We've got TikTok, Instagram, Rizzle, Twitter. Like, comment, and subscribe down below as well. You can also check out my main gaming channel down in the description and donate if you can and feel like it. Hit the bell notification to keep up to date with everything going on the channel, YouTube side of things. But until next time, sadly, I can't keep talking for much longer. So, I'm going to love you and leave you. Peace.